This is the 18 Strong Podcast with Jeff Pellizzaro, episode number 62.
The biggest thing, Jeff, for you and me, or for me personally, is it doesn't hurt anymore to play golf. By concentrating on these particular strength exercises, the pain's gone, Jeff.
Welcome to the 18 Strong Podcast, where you get direct access to the world's greatest experts on training harder, practicing smarter, and playing better golf. Now, here's your host, Jeff Pellizzaro.
Hey, what's up, golfers? This is Jeff Pellizzaro, and I want to thank you for joining me this week on this episode of the 18 Strong Podcast, where we have Nicholas Zaher coming all the way from across the pond over in Berlin, Germany. Nick is one of the most highly respected golf instructors over in Europe. And from the years 2002 to 2009, Nick co-owned and ran all of the David Leadbetter Academies over in Germany. And so obviously he has a lot of experience working with golfers, high level, as well as, the recreational and amateur golfers. But in around 2007, Nick kind of had an epiphany and learned a little bit more about the importance of the body and, got kind of tied into this whole golf fitness thing that we talk about all the time, and realized that if he could work with golfers and improve the way that their bodies moved, that he could most likely make them better players, given all the traditional instruction that he also had. So he's had that knowledge and now wanted to learn more about the body and the way that the body moved and getting the golfer stronger. And so he went on kind of a mission, and since has created his new company, which is Golf Athletes, where he takes a much more, as he describes, a holistic approach. So it's not only golf instruction, but he works on the physical preparation, the strength training, and really kind of ties it all together to make sure that the golfers are getting everything that they need from the physical and playing standpoint. What I think is pretty cool, though, is that Nick is basically a testimonial for himself. Given the fact that he started to learn about all this stuff, he started implementing this in the gym immediately and started working out more, doing some different things that he learned through, TPI and some of the other educational courses that he took. But he said his game really changed when he started lifting heavier things, which I think speaks to a lot of the advice that we've heard from different guests on the podcast is, challenging yourself, pushing yourself to the limits, safely, of course, but, getting out there and not being afraid to start moving a little bit of weight. And Nick said that it changed the way that he carried himself on the course. His posture was different. He was hitting the ball further. Swing speed was better. Ball speed was different. So he noticed a lot of these things and then also has been applying that with his own students. Now, the good news for you guys is that we not only have Nick here on the podcast this week interviewing him, but I'd like to think that this is more of an introduction to Nick, because I'm very excited to announce that Nick is now one of our featured coaches on 18 Strong TV, or our YouTube channel, which you can also find the videos on 18strong.com. Just go to the homepage and click the videos tab up top. But you're going to start seeing a lot more of Nick and his videos. He has a YouTube channel already. It's called Golf Athletes, but you probably won't understand much of it because it's pretty much all in German. So we are importing Nick to 18 Strong TV so he can provide us with some of the great content that he's been putting out for a while now. So right away, I'm going to encourage you to go over to the show notes page after you listen to this episode, of course, and find Nick's page, and we're going to have a couple of his videos on there, or links to his videos, and then you're going to start seeing a lot more of him, as I mentioned. So last week in our episode with Neil Hausch, we talked about, cardio and speed and high-intensity training. This week, we're talking about lifting heavy stuff with Nick. So, these are perfect topics to get you geared up and ready to go for your off season. One last note before we get into the episode, we do have a new batch of 18 Strong shirts that we just put an order in for. So I know I've had a lot of people asking me, hey, when can we get an 18 Strong shirt? That the gray shirt with the black lettering that you've seen kind of posted on Facebook. Kind of had a guy by the name of Jordan Spieth holding one up in a picture a while back, no big deal. But we've got some shirts on order, so keep an eye on our social media. 18 Strong on Twitter, Facebook, and we just started an Instagram account. I know we're a little slow to the game, and we're kind of picking up some of the social media stuff. So keep an eye on those accounts. We're going to start posting, when some of that's going to be ready, and we're going to have basically a platform up on 18 Strong where you can just go and order a shirt, and we'll ship it out to you. So had to throw that out there just so you guys know that that's coming. All right. Enjoy this episode with Nick, and I'll catch you on the other side. Nicholas Zaher, welcome to the 18 Strong podcast.
Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for coming on the show. And for all the listeners out there, if you don't know Nicholas yet, you're definitely going to get to know him on 18 Strong, the whole platform of 18 Strong very soon. Before I give his background, Nick is one of our new featured coaches on 18 Strong TV, which you can find on YouTube, or you can find on 18strong.com now because we've got all the videos published on the website. So, Nick, first I want to welcome you to the 18 Strong family and thank you for contributing some great content, which is going to be released. We've got one video out. We've got plenty of videos coming out. We're going to be releasing a lot more. But give the audience a little background on you. We'll kind of dive into everything that you've got going on and then how this whole 18 Strong thing came about with you being a featured coach.
Well, hi guys. My name's Nick Zaher. I'm originally from Liverpool in England. It's a city where you play football and listen to lots of music. But some people play golf too, and I was lucky enough when I was a kid to play a little soccer and be introduced to a friend of mine who hit a golf ball, and I just couldn't believe he could hit it with this little stick. And I pretty much got hooked really, really quickly and played a lot of golf on a soccer pitch for half a year. Imagine that, just scoring goals. Imagine this, Jeff. I'm on the football pitch and I've got an iron, a second-hand club, and I tried to score a goal, and it took me about 5 shots to get it in there, and that felt really good. And then it took me 4 shots, and then maybe only 3 shots to score a goal. And one day I managed to score a goal with 1 shot. So I was always aiming at this set of goalposts. And sometime later, I finally got onto the golf course, and golf seemed to be quite easy all of a sudden, which is, please don't cut me off, guys. Golf is not easy, and I know it, but after practicing on a football pitch, on a soccer pitch for so long, to hit a target on a golf course seemed like the natural thing to do. Anyway, I got lucky, and I played a lot of golf and managed to become a PGA professional, qualifying in England, and I did pretty well. I wanted to be a good player, Jeff, and I was quite good, but I was a little bit inconsistent. And I decided to go and get some help from the Leadbetter Academy in the UK. And so I was a professional, qualified. I tried to play good golf, and I realised I was taking professional instruction, but I wasn't probably not getting as good as I wanted to be, actually. That's nothing to do with the Leadbetter method, because a little later I was fortunate enough to be approached by the instructor, the guy who taught me for Leadbetter back then, and he asked me if I wanted to be involved in a company that saved the Leadbetter name in Germany, because IMG, the International Management Group, were going to pull the plug on David Leadbetter's Academies in Germany, and we set up a business, Jeff, and basically continued the academies, and I was luckily enough to become a certified Leadbetter coach. And but my golf game, I knew a lot, but I don't think it was getting better. That was really funny. We were trying to see the whole picture, Jeff. We talked about the holistic approach. Seeing the picture, how the player swings, what they eat, nutrition on the course management, club fitting, fitness. That for me was sort of seeing the whole picture. But I always had this niggling feeling something was missing, right? And I think that's always great, Jeff. When you think you know something, then you start to ask questions, and you realise you know nothing.
Yeah, been there.
Yeah, my God,
I'm there every day. Every time I record a podcast episode.
Yeah, we love that one. But in 2007, so I was a player, a PGA professional, became a DLGA certified senior instructor, which was great. And then I met the guys from TPI in Sweden in 2007, and that was the shock therapy, I think, back then. Standing there at a PGA coaching conference and seeing Dave and Greg asking us to do a pelvic tilt and pelvic rotation and a thorax rotation, torso rotation. That was hilarious. They've done it lots and lots of times, but I was thinking, well, maybe this body swing connection, that's the piece that's been missing for me, right? And I was fascinated, and I was thinking, these guys are just absolutely awesome. They're doing something what I think I need to know about.
So at that point in your career, that hadn't been a big thought process or something that had come up in all the other training that you've done was the body-mind connection and how important some of the movement and the pieces and the joints of the body correlated with the things you were trying to teach your students?
Well, we were very focused on cause and effect, and the Leadbetter, our style of instruction back then was very body-orientated. It probably still is today, to be fair. But the TPI approach was just clearing up things I never dreamed of asking. We never talked about hip rotation. Core, you talk about balance. We never talk about how many degrees you need to rotate in a certain direction and what leads to. We were causing effect based on the golf swing, and I still think you need to. You can't just analyze and not know what the root cause is. Otherwise the guy's just not going to get better, or she's not going to get better. Mm-hmm. So TPI was just sort of pointing me in the right direction, and it did.
And then so once you were introduced to TPI, then how did that change what you were doing with your clients and where that kind of took you in your career path?
Well, I flew to America and did level 1. And came back to Europe, and I screened hundreds of people straight away. And I think I probably took way too much money for doing it. And but it was new, and I was passionate, and I wanted to get this information integrated into what I was doing. But things started to add up. Why certain people were not getting better, and I always use myself as a reference, Jeff. Haven't taken so many hours of instruction, professional instruction, but feeling I was just not making the steps in the direction that I wanted to make. And then after coming back from TPI, I started to hear of names like Greg Cook and Dave Phillips and Greg and everybody and Jason Glass a bit later and Lance Gill, and things just started adding up. So I got back and screened loads and loads and loads of people and got quite a good reputation of doing that. And the body swing connection became a part of my daily life. And but even that, after doing hundreds of screens, I thought I need some more information, and I need some more. And I flew back to the States again. And it's quite an expensive trip for a European to get back to Europe and think I need some more information. I'm going to go and book another flight. And then off I go.
That's dedication.
Yeah, Jeff, I just love trying to find solutions. And TPI were giving me the opportunity to fill some of those gaps, I think.
Well, yeah. I look at your bio, and you've got all the years that you worked at the Leadbetter Academy. But as far as TPI is concerned, and the golf and fitness tied together, you've got your junior level 2, I think Fitness Pro level 2, Golf Biomechanics level 2, and am I missing one in there?
Fitness Pro level 2, level 2 golf, level 2 biomechanics, level 2 junior, level 2 Fitness Pro.
Yeah, I mean that's some pretty extensive education there in the fitness department, and that's really a big piece of when we connected initially about bringing you on to the 18 Strong platform and doing some videos. What I loved is some of the articles that you had forwarded me, and a couple of the videos that you showed me were not golf instruction. I mean, you being a golf instructor and having the bio that you do, most people would think, oh, he's going to show some golf drills and things like that. But no, you're talking kettlebells, you're talking deadlifts, you're talking all this stuff. And that's what I loved. And that's what 18 Strong is all about. So give us an idea, because you mentioned that you're more of a holistic golf coach now. Give us an idea of what that means to be a holistic golf coach, and what does it look like when somebody comes and works with you for their golf game, as far as lessons or training sessions, or how do you tie it all together? Because most guys have their fitness guy, their swing coach, but you kind of tie it all in a little bit together.
Yeah, I sometimes kick myself for that, Jeff, because we're always told to create a team around us, and I try to create a team of expats. But I do have quite a lot of knowledge. Well, not amazing amount of knowledge, but I've just got enough. Well, if someone comes to me, this is the perfect thing, Jeff. If I see you tomorrow, we're going to have a chat. I'm going to look at you. We're going to talk about your history. You're going to tell me how you're feeling. We're going to talk about your time frame, how much, what you do for a living, how much time do you have, and I'll try to get to know my clients a little closer in that way to make sure it's nice and honest. I generally do a level 1 screen or a level 2 fitness screen that's going through all the mobility and stability and motor skill, body swing connection stuff. I think everybody should really know that this makes a huge difference for the golf game. And then if the client is far enough, then I would do some level 2 fitness pro, like a medicine ball, throw a vertical jump, a sit up and throw with a medicine ball, and try and work out some power and strength values as well. Then I do a 3D analysis. That was great back in 2000, and I think it was 9. I went and did with Greg a 3D course, TPI biomechanists. This is checking the efficiency of a golf swing. So the guy who comes in, I'm creating a picture, getting the holistic approach, if you like. I'm seeing what his body can do, checking out his golf swing on video, and do a 3D analysis, and sit down and have a talk. And then based on this information, we work out where we want to go. And I need the information, Jeff, as a coach, because it helps me instruct these guys better. I don't need to give them all the information.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point.
But it points me in a direction. And I know, Jeff, some guys will say, that's all great, but I don't have time to do anything really in the gym at all. So with those guys, you got to go, right, okay, what can you do and how much time have you got, honestly? And it might be that this guy says, I've got 10 minutes and it's just before I go out and play golf. And then I'll work on a program that is like a warm-up program that makes so much sense that he supports his game. So he can go out and play good and doesn't get tired. I have other guys, for example, who are, let's take a dentist, for example, who sits over his chair with his shoulders forward along most of the day, and he's sort of folded over. Then I've got absolutely no problem with these guys. If he gives me the green light and we're both talking the same language, I'll get on the floor on the range. And I'll show them exercises, exactly what to do. And people might walk by and think, what are you doing? And I might look up and say, well, that we're doing what we need.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people like me for that, because I have no problem rolling around and doing rolling patterns on the floor, or playing with a FMT tubing band on the side of a range building, to make someone realize that they can get better without always having to go to the gym. But that's only one part of it, Jeff, That's not going to change them forever, but it's going to make them a better golfer.
Yeah, for sure. And I know, you and I have had several conversations now, and a big thing that I know you stress with some of your guys, and in your own fitness program, is, doing some of the heavier stuff. We've had some guests here on the show that, talk about creating real changes in your fitness level and what you can do, and challenging yourself. And one of the first things that you told me that has made a huge difference in your game personally is doing something that we call a farmer walk, which you've got a great video on the YouTube channel, which I'll link up in the show notes. But explain a little bit for us, some of the benefits that you've seen and what you've seen with your clients when you just started lifting heavier things, as we like to say?
Lifting heavier things, that's good. It's quality of life, Jeff. If a golfer wants to play golf for a long time, then they shouldn't be scared to go and learn how to do a really, really solid deadlift. Work through that, and going back to the farmer walk. A farmer walk is a game changer. If you can find enough weight in the gym or at home, and I use kettlebells, Jeff. Mm-hmm. If you're lucky enough to have really heavy equipment and pick it up and just go for a walk with it, and it sounds so easy because it's exactly that. You go for a walk, and I've got 2 kettlebells. They weigh 28 kgs each, just lying around. Now I could pick them up and go for a walk, Jeff, and I might get maybe 100 yards. And then my arms are absolutely killing me. Mm-hmm. Right, my forearms are in pain because it's tough. That I really have to hold them very, very tightly. But a great thing is once you get walking with this weight, your posture improves because you're forced to let your shoulders drop and lock into position. You have to hold the kettlebells by your side, and when you go for a walk, you realize if you get 100 yards with this weight, then you've done a pretty good job. And it's a full body workout. And for some reason, I got this from Dan John. He's a very well-known strength coach. It makes a difference, especially for golf. And my experience, Jeff, I've gone out and played, and I've been doing 3 or 4 different things. The deadlift, working right into the deadlift for if you're not quite familiar with it. The most powerful move that we have is a hinging move, right, Jeff?
Yep.
That's and for golf, if you can hinge, then you can get into posture. You can stay into posture, and by moving through the deadlift with various degrees of weight and switching to one leg and the other leg, you'll get full body strength and amazing glute strength. And later, I think every golfer, if you can do the deadlift to begin with, and then do a kettlebell swing at the end, and they get really, really good at doing the kettlebell swing, then you'll be a better golfer because the swing is in the swing you've got the vertical jump, the standing long jump, the snatch and the clean, all these hip hinge power movements in the swing. And I love all my players on this winter. This is exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to start with a deadlift, work through single leg deadlift, take them up to the swing, concentrate on a squatting pattern as well, and then get them on the ground and do something called a get up or the Turkish get up. I think if a golfer does the Turkish get up, a goblet squat, a deadlift, moving into the swing, he's going to play absolute amazing golf. And Jeff, he's probably going to have a really nice looking butt as well.
So you guys that want to impress your lady friends, these are great butt exercises. Now, so tell us, what has it done for your game?
It's improved my balance. I can hit the ball harder on the golf course. I've got we checked the spin rate with my driver. I've got a more penetrating driver flight. It's gone down to like 2,000, 2,500 spin rate. I've managed to improve my mobility, upper body, hip mobility. A golfer needs all of these things. Hip mobility, pelvic mobility, and a good hip hinge, a rotation, shoulder mobility. And I think probably the biggest thing, Jeff, for you and me, or for me personally, is it doesn't hurt anymore to play golf. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons I sort of took a quite a long time out from playing was because of the pain aspect. And by concentrating on these particular strength exercises, the pain's gone, Jeff. And I think that's just really, really, really valuable.
Well, I think something that is very important that we make a note of here is, there's so much talk about the importance of core strength and, having a strong core to be able to relay the forces from the ground through your legs to your upper body out to the club. But I think what's overlooked in many situations, in many cases, is the fact that a core exercise can be more, it's not typically the sit-ups and crunches and things like that most people envision when they think core exercises. You don't get a better core exercise than a deadlift or a Turkish get-up or a goblet squat. And these are the kind of things that you can start with very little weight, and I would encourage you to do so if you've never touched one of these exercises. But start with very little weight, but these are the positions that you're in during your golf swing. These are the things that are going to help you stabilize and get your glutes stronger, your low back stronger. It's going to teach you how to keep your posture when you have different forces acting on you. And that's what I love in your videos, is how you show such proper form, breathing techniques, and just how to really kind of tap into the core strength when you're doing some of these exercises. And I'd like you to touch a little bit on the breathing, because that's one thing that I noticed in your videos is you're very pronounced with getting yourself set into your posture prior to your exercise.
Yeah, well, great point, Jeff, about core strength first. Any exercise I do, or I recommend my clients to do, we'll spend a long time on patterning, but not so long that they get bored and leave the building. Mm-hmm. But they need to do patterning every single time, right? Explain
that for us a little bit.
Movement patterning is, for example, we just touched on something called a deadlift. Movement patterning would be to train a hinge movement where, for example, if you stand up straight and let your butt move backwards towards maybe about 30 centimeters a foot from a wall away, or one of your own feet from the wall away, and then let your butt move backwards and not down, and keep your upper body straight. And you can do this with for example, with a stick, a broomstick, for example, or a driver on your lower back, on your upper body, and on your head, 3 points of contact, and hinge backwards, and don't ever go down, because if you go down, you're doing a squat, and if you hinge backwards, you're doing a hinge move, right? Mm-hmm. So we do that. I let the butt move backwards, and then to come back up, I'll press the ground. Before I press the ground, I'll breathe in through the nose to stabilize my core, and I'll press the ground away and breathe out. It's when I get to the top. So we stand straight, down through the nose, and out through the mouth. This stabilizes the body, and most of all for me, it protects my core. If I try and lift a weight later with a very sloppy technique, then I'm going to hurt myself. And I have to be absolutely honest with you, Jeff, I have hurt myself doing these exercises. So breathing is more of a protection system for me, or for everybody. Anybody who starts lifting weight should definitely pay a huge attention to how he breathes.
Yeah, and I like that the cue of pressing the ground, or pressing the ground away, or pressing the floor away, because I think it gives a different feeling than trying to lift the weight. But if you're using the lower body to explode in that hinge, or reversing that hinge, or coming up from a squat or a goblet squat, that really, really makes a big difference. It doesn't sound like much of a change, but next time you're in the gym, try pushing the ground away from you, and I think you'll feel a huge change.
It's absolutely massive, Jeff. I think when you get a little more advanced and start swinging a kettlebell, for example, by pushing the floor away and stabilizing your body with the breathing patterns, you'll find that you can move more weight at a higher velocity, and the weight will float when you get to the top, and then you're stable and you won't hurt yourself. Or, well, let's say I did hurt myself. I have hurt myself, and this is what I'm doing. And I do at least 3 times a week, Jeff, 250 swings with a 28K kettlebell at the moment, and I push the ground away. I breathe rhythmically, and that is also a full body workout. I don't recommend anybody listening to the podcast who's never done a swing to pick up 28Ks and go for 250. Get good at swinging nothing, and then work from there, and find a great instructor as well. I've actually got instruction tomorrow. I'm not giving instruction, I'm taking instruction.
Excellent.
Because I think it's so important that someone else looks at you as well.
That's excellent advice. Now,
Can I just jump in, Jeff?
Yeah.
One more point.
Absolutely.
You know who's my favorite podcast this year?
I think I do. I'm going to let you explain.
Yeah, Charlie Weingroff, the best podcast we've had forever. Charlie has got 5 coaching cues for the deadlift, and they are absolutely amazing. He did a video with Dr. Mark Cheng called Hacking the Hinge. Charlie does lots of stuff on the video, but he gets to the hinge and he talks about the deadlift, and he says 5 things, and they are dial, spread, squeeze, crush, and clobber. And he says these 5 things with such power, and he makes absolutely clear that one single deadlift, Jeff, is like a workout by itself. If the coaching keys, when he talks about dial, he talks about spreading the feet and stabilizing the legs and the glutes. Spread, he pulls the shoulders back. Squeeze, he presses the arms onto the body. Crush, I love crush. He really crushes the grip so hard, and now the core is on fire. And then he says clobber, and you press the ground away, and you don't lift the weight with your hands. You press the ground, and up you come. And these 5 coaching keys with such power will give you a workout for just one single deadlift. And you can do that 25 times. Times 1, you probably don't need to do much more. It's so good.
Yeah, and I'm ashamed to say that I haven't seen that DVD yet with Charlie and Dr. Mark Cheng, but I love that. I'll link that up in the show notes, and if I can find a video of Charlie demonstrating that, or I'm sure we'll get something on the 18 Strong TV channel over on YouTube with you doing some of this stuff for the listeners.
I'd love to. That has made a huge difference.
We'll absolutely get that one set up. And but yeah, I mean, the deadlift is such a great exercise. And to be honest, I didn't start really doing deadlifts in my own workouts until the last couple of years, and it's made a huge difference. I used to have some back issues, and until I started really doing the lower body stuff, which is why I preach it so often. I noticed a huge change, and I'm a physical therapist. I was working with people with back pain all the time. I was giving them rehab exercises and all these little things to work on different things. But until I personally started doing some real lower body training and doing deadlifts and doing split squats and goblet squats and regular squats and things like that, I noticed my back pain go away and was able to play golf without discomfort. And now just, it's more of a management thing where I know if I do my exercises, that pain's going to be gone. But you can generate such huge amounts of power and strength. And just like you said, doing a deadlift could be an entire workout for sure. And it's going to get your shoulders, your upper body, your trunk, your core, your legs, your butt, everything from top to bottom. So fantastic exercise.
I think one of the most important things for me as a coach, based on golf, Jeff, is I'd never ever wanted anybody to do anything that I couldn't do myself. Mm-hmm. So if I had a guy who said, let's say we're talking about shaping the ball, I wouldn't expect anybody to do something I couldn't do. If I can't hit a draw or a fade or a cut or whatever, and there's no way I think anybody who hasn't experienced this sort of stuff should be teaching other guys to do it. They need to feel what it's like. You need to feel what a deadlift feels like, and then the coaching keys and trial and error, and then I think that'll put you in great stead to speak from experience. That makes quite a big difference.
I agree. All right, let's make this episode have some action to it, something that the listeners have to take with them and do to really kind of capture what we're talking about here. So if there were 2 things that you would suggest the 18 Strong listener, doesn't matter, who you are, if you're, an 18-year-old golfer or if you're a 65-year-old golfer, what are 2 things that the listener could do over the next couple of weeks to add into their workout that you would suggest?
2 things. Okay, I've got a 2-minute plank, a hard style plank. That is, you get on the floor and you tighten your feet tighten your butt, tighten your abs, tighten your shoulders, make 2 strong fists, and just make a plank and see if you can hold it for 2 minutes. I think that this is a full body strength exercise, and I'll be really surprised if everybody can hold it for 2 minutes. That's tough. And if you can't do it, then go and practice.
Yeah, and I think just a quick note here, if you don't find your body kind of quivering and shaking a little bit, even within the first 30 seconds, you're not squeezing hard enough.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think if you can do a 2-minute plank, guys, good job, well done to you. The kids at TPI, they need to do 4 minutes. So see if you can do 2.
Wow.
Yeah, the next thing, I've got can I do 3 things, Jeff?
Sure, give them 3. Over deliver.
Okay. All right, yeah. Dream big and over deliver, Jason. A standing long jump. Measure your height. I'm 1.80 m, Jeff. I think it's 5'11". Measure it and mark it, and try and jump your height like a broad jump. We're not jumping in the air, we're jumping forward. This exercise will help you check if you've got enough mobility, whether you've got a good hinge, and whether you've got any explosive power, which you need to play good golf. And if you can jump over your height, then well done to you. Now let's see how far you can get. If you can't jump over your height, why can't you jump over your height? What's gone wrong on the way? But please don't get ahead trying it.
It's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, I do like that too. And the third one would be just from a standing position to sit down and stand up again.
Down to the floor?
Yeah, just get down and on the floor, lie on your stomach, stand back up. Get down on the floor, lie on your left side, stand back up. Get down on the floor, lie on your right side, stand back up. Get down on the floor, do a plank, stand back up. Get down on the floor, lie on your back, and stand back up.
Now, can they use their hands when they're getting up and down, or is this simply doing it without hands?
First of all, they can use the hands, but that's a great question, Jeff. You could do this. The first one was you can use the hands. The second one is you can do exactly the same, but put your right hand on your right knee and go and keep it there. So you go down on the floor, stand back up on your left side, and you stand back up on your right side, stand back up do a plank, and then on your back, and your right hand is always on your right knee. So that would be the continuation. Then you're gonna have to stand up in a minute, Jeff. You could do that, and then obviously if you've done the right knee, then put your left hand on your left knee, and then go down and do the 5 positions, and then you come back up again, and then put your right hand on your left knee and do it all over again. And then when that's finished, put your left hand on your right knee and do it all over again. And when that's finished, put your hands behind your head and do it all over again. So if anyone's probably got lost on the way, we're talking about 25 to 30 times of sitting back, getting down to the ground and standing back up. And one of the videos I want to do, we talk about power. If you've got no mobility, you're not going to hit the ball anywhere. Right, and how often do you get down on the floor and stand back up? And I know I do it a lot because I do a Turkish get up quite a lot. But this is a little warm-up program for me. And for some people, it'll be a complete body workout, Jeff.
Yeah.
But that would actually be a little session for someone to get mobility, so they can hit the ball further. Because that's a lost key. I promise you.
That's cool. I'm going to try that as soon as we get off the air here. See if I make sure I can get them all.
But this is also, if there's any coaches out there with kids, the kids love it. They laugh, have so much fun, do it with your children. I need to do it with my mother-in-law because she needs some more movement.
That's great. That's great advice. I have so many clients that I'm thinking about already. Some of my older clients, but for the juniors, I can see how this can be so great. And some of them, I'm sure, will struggle with it, surprisingly. But that's really cool. All right, Nick, before we get going, I got a couple of questions for you. As you know, we're going to start out with the old Caddyshack versus Happy Gilmore. Which one are you more partial to?
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack, all right. I found that a lot of the Euros have been more towards Happy Gilmore, so I'm kind of happy to hear that.
Mate, Rodney Dangerfield, when he presses the button on his tour bag and his club flies out of the bag in the air. So funny.
Love it. All right, if you had one person in the golf world, and this could be the fitness world, this could be a golfer, this could be an instructor, this could be anybody, that you would love to spend 18 holes with, either just riding in the cart listening, caddying for them, or actually playing around with, who would it be and why?
Oh, wow. Let me think about that one. Nick Faldo.
And why?
Because Nick Faldo was a fantastic player, and he changed what he did when he was at the top of his game to improve and stay there. And he's won 6 majors. And he's British. So I want to go and spend a bit of time with him.
Awesome. All right, what does the term 18 strong mean to you?
Staying strong for a whole day. And that means on the golf course, obviously. But 18 strong is a great term. I think everybody's said everything to say about 18 strong. Just from the beginning to the end, bring it home.
Awesome. And then last question, what has you most excited for what you have going on over at Golf Athletes and with everything that you're doing? And then where can the audience find you?
The audience can find me on Facebook, Golf Athletes, with a Z on the end or a Z on the end, not ES, or at golfathletes.de. That's with a Z on the end, I said. I'm really excited now because I'm setting up a program that's going to start in the next few weeks, where we are concentrating on fundamental movement, introducing the kettlebell into athletes training. I'm going to cover all the important moves that a golfer requires to improve the quality of his life and to improve his golf game too. Sounded a little bit like Adam Stevenson there, didn't I?
Yeah, sounds great. Awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, and I'm really looking forward to all the content and everything that you're going to bring to 18 Strong and everything that you're going to bring for the listeners, the viewers, and it's going to be great. Looking forward to it, and thanks for coming on the show.
Jeff, thanks so much for letting me spend some of your valuable time.
You bet, buddy.
Bye-bye. See ya.
All right, cool. I can't wait to introduce you guys to Nick some more on our 18 Strong YouTube channel and the videos that he's putting out, and the video that we're going to have in the show notes page just kind of shows, one of them he's actually inside. It was a rainy German day, but he is in the other video on a beautiful course. I think it's a Robert Trent Jones course, demonstrating how to hit a ball below your feet and some exercises that are going to help you get in those positions a little bit better. So definitely check out that video. It's all on the show notes page. Just go to 18strong.com, and if you search for Nick, his episode will pop up. He'll also be on the homepage. So go ahead and check those out. And while you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you get updates every time we get a new video. That way you don't miss any of the content that Nick or some of our other coaches have. As mentioned before, we do have some other coaches that are coming out with some new content very, very soon. Keep an eye on social media, and we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear, what are some of the things that you're doing in the gym for this off season that's going to change your game for next year. And even better, if you have any pictures or videos of you doing any of this stuff in the gym, pictures of you lifting heavy things. Let's go with that for the week. If you have pictures of you lifting heavy things, send it over to 18 Strong on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Tag us in it. We'll share it for you. We'd love to see golfers out there working hard, training hard. So until next week, guys, really appreciate you being here. And we've got tons of great stuff coming up. So keep on going, train hard, practice smart, play better golf.
Thanks for listening to the 18 Strong podcast at www.18strong.com. And remember, train hard, practice smart, and play better golf.